mainly smooth sounding jazz influenced by instrumentals with an impeccable pen game that redefines the boundaries of lyrical storytelling. Although Nduna the Chief fell in love with music at age 12, his earliest recollection of being intrigued by music goes all the way back to the tender age of 5, when he would witness his brother play the bass guitar and drums at his local church on Sundays. I knew when I saw the age 5 that this has a church reference somewhere in it, because there is no way that you're going to talk to someone who started music at age 5 and they will not respond to church. And that is the bio of a king in the introduction, fit for a king as well. 15 minutes past the hour, 4 o'clock. In the studio with us, Nduna the Chief. Welcome to Enroute 962.
Thank you for having me, sir.
It has been a pleasure. You're absolutely amazing. And your bio is very fitting. Yes, but sir, something that shocked me is the voice.
What about it?
It's the voice. Hey, the voice took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting such a big voice, you know? Thank you for having me. It's absolutely amazing. So I want to talk about what inspired the name Nduna the Chief.
Nduna the Chief is... Okay, prior to that, I had a name called Tony D, but then I chose to change it because there was no Kasi element to it. I know that I like to rap in English, talk in English right now,
sure,
but mostly I'm more comfortable in using English in my words. But then, coming from a background with melody and stuff, I wanted somebody to resonate with it. So Tony D was kind of out of pocket, so I chose to go with something more fitting. So my friends were calling me Nduna, which is shortened for my name, Dumiso. So I chose to take that and I translated it to Chief, and Nduna the Chief came about, and I've been rolling with it ever since.
It's fire. I must say that it's absolutely fire. Nduna the Chief. But I do like Donny D though. I do like Donny D though.
Donny D is too boozy.
I mean, imagine walking up to a rap battle and then we say Donny D is coming up next. You're shaking.
Imagine now you say the same thing, but there's in the crowd there's like Batubago 012, you know, and like Nduna the Chief, you know, it kind of balances the crew.
Especially come on melody, You're absolutely right. So when did you fall in love with music? I know that at age 12, that's when you decided to actually put pen to paper. But you've been inspired since the age of 5. Yeah. So when exactly did you make that decision to be like, you know?
I'll say 2021.
Sure.
That would be when I was 17 years old. I was in grade 11.
Yeah.
So at that time, that's when I decided to go to... Now, this music thing is actually something I would like to do because I was very interested in everything about it. From the production side to the music, to the writing, to everything. So that's when I decided to say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do it as a brand, as Nduna the Chief. As Nduna the Chief.
Yeah. So 2021 is your year, mid-lockdown, when you just decided that, you know what, I'm gonna put this thing to work.
Because there was a lot of homework to do, and I'm not a person big on homework.
Sure.
I was just a person, you know, good see, I love what I love. And that's the time when a lot of artists were dropping music.
Yeah.
Because everybody was just at home. So I used to watch live videos. Production. I ended up thinking, okay, let me do this. I didn't have a studio. So I started recording songs on my phone.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, I started noticing that, okay, I need to professionalize my music.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and here we are today.
One thing led to another, and here we are today. Another COVID-19 come up. 2021, when he was 17, started his musical journey and actually paved the way to where you are now, ne?
True.
Of course. So what made you choose the genre that is hip-hop? And especially because you're referencing the name that you had at first, Donny D, right?
Yeah.
That is a name that you would associate with hip-hop. But Nduna the Chief is it's very in between. Yeah, it's very in between. It's like an industry name. You can't say Kya Piano or Kya Hip Hop or Kya. So what made you choose hip hop? Because you made reference to my melody, Kikasi, and you wanted to resonate with people about Kikasi.
Yeah.
And yet hip hop.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hip hop per se, I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop, but that is a given. Especially when my brother is my biggest reference when it comes to this. He used to play a lot of Drake. So I had no choice but to hear a lot of Drake when I was still young.
Views Drake? Old school Drake?
Old school Drake, like
started from the bottom Drake?
It started from the bottom Drake.
Thank you.
Know?
Yeah.
So from there it was the Lil Waynes and stuff. And when I had to choose my own path, that's when MT and the MT Aries Ambitious 2016. That's when I really got inspired.
I get you. Yeah.
When I took the decision to do music, the easiest thing to do was hip hop because they were the biggest reference. They did what I liked.
They did what
when
you
I was
liked.
liking what they were doing. I don't have like sort of any sort of beef with Amapiano or Afro pop or something like that. It's just that when you play a hip hop beat, something happens, you know.
Yeah.
Other than playing an Amapiano beat, I'll just vibe to it, and that's all.
It's an out of body experience. I can absolutely imagine. That is the artist in you coming out. So I guess with what you just said right now, that you have no beef with other genres, especially Amapiano, you're strictly a hip hop head.
Yeah.
Are you one of the people who would basically get into an argument and fight tooth and nail for the fact that hip hop is dead in South Africa?
As
As a hip hop artist, you are stuttering, so I don't know what to say.
As a hip hop artist, I think I don't want it to be true.
Yeah.
I don't. When somebody says hip hop is dead, I want it to be so wrong to a point where I become in denial. But looking at the facts and the stats of what's happening lately,
Sure.
you see the truth. The truth is in the numbers, and Amapiano is doing crazy things, even for hip hop.
Sure.
So I feel like there's a sort of identity that's lacking in hip hop, and we need to find that. Probably something might happen, but if there's an argument of what's better, Amapiano and hip hop, I feel like that's just pouring more takamara, like
a leaking bucket,
like low key, because
yeah.
you're just arguing over what you like.
I get you, and I want to touch on something that you mentioned in terms of identity, because you seem to be in touch with your identity, and you know that you want to do hip hop, regardless of the numbers, regardless of anything. That is where you're rooted. And then you have people like Caesar Alakine, who previously did hip hop and was considered a hip hop head Mumzanzi, and now he's doing Amapiano. So I guess when you touch on identity and people shifting and changing lanes, it makes a lot of sense. And exactly 20 minutes past the hour, 4 o'clock, bills are to be paid.
Is there such a thing as a perfect relationship between boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife? And so the question remains, what exactly works and what doesn't?
Possibly expectations between the two people involved.
Join us and let's discuss this further in our next show this coming Saturday. The Morning Glow, every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on TUT FM 96.2. Amplifying voices, empowering lives.
Applications for placement of learners going to grade 1 and grade 8 in 2025 in Gauteng schools open on Thursday, 11 July and will close on Monday, 12 August 2024. To apply, visit www.gdeadmissions.gov.za. For more info, call 0800 000 789 or send a WhatsApp to 060 892 0361. Apply online. Apply on time. Together, play our part. Brought to you by the
on Route 96.2. Mondays to Fridays. 3 to 6 p.m. on TUT FM.
Three minutes past the hour, that is 4 o'clock. We are deep within the first half of the second hour of the show, and still in conversation with Nduna the Chief, the man telling us that he is from Mamelodi, went from Donny D to Nduna the Chief, went from basically being within himself and picking the genre that is hip-hop, regardless of the numbers or anything like that. He is strictly a hip-hop head. And I like that you made reference to Drake, because people are saying that Drake is a bit soft for the hip-hop genre. Kendrick Lamar, I don't know if you want to comment on the beef. We'll get that at the end of the interview. Get your personal opinion on Not Like Us. I don't know, right? So what inspires your writing? Coming from Mamelodi, making hip-hop, there aren't a lot of hip-hop hits or hip-hop references go Mamelodi, I can imagine. So what inspires your writing?
What inspires my writing most of the time is just my life, you understand?
Sure.
I try to live my life in a sense whereby I look at it and it becomes aesthetic to me. It has to look beautiful for me so that I can make it beautiful for somebody else. And honestly speaking, life is boring. Whether you are a celebrity or what, there's no perfect life, you understand?
True.
But there's so much you can say about yourself to make somebody feel better about themselves. And that is the only thing that really gets to me, and that helps me when I'm writing my music, writing about my experiences. That is all that helps me at all.
Multifaceted, multi-talented, and multi-layered, writing about himself, because he says life is boring. I don't know. So you released an EP. You released an EP titled "Hopeless Romantic." Tell us the story behind it, rather. How do you? Because, like, once again, right? Hip hop is something that is presumed to be hardcore.
Yeah.
It's presumed to be rough, and you presume to be rapping about money, women, cars.
Yeah.
When you move into the romantic and love side of things, they're like, hip hop light.
Yeah.
So tell us about the story behind
Hip hop
romantic.
Hip hop light is crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
so as I said, I like writing authentic things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you reference hardcore and you talk about money and you talk about girls and you talk about cars and all of that, some people are just selling a life.
Sure.
That I don't even want to mention names, but they're selling a life that they aren't even living.
It's not their real life.
So you understand. So I'd rather tell you about something about that I know, and have you think is boring. But it's something I know. If you could ask me, I would tell you the whole experience from scratch.
Sure.
So what inspired Hopeless Romantic? Hopeless Romantic 2. There's a first one, hence the 2 for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So Hopeless Romantic 2 was the first offering on all major DSPs.
Yeah.
It was a dedication of some sort to a girl I used to date at that time.
Used to.
Exactly. So it was just something, I wrote, and I was like, I like the songs that I've come up with in this project. And we compiled something for 5 songs, and I worked with my friend here, O4, and we worked on it for like 2 weeks straight. And it came out the way it came out, and I liked it, and people had a good reception to it. And from that, I had the confidence to get into more projects and stuff.
Shout out to O4 for helping with Hopeless Romantic 2, my guy. Shout out to you and shout out to you. So, can I ask if there's a lady behind Hopeless Romantic 2?
Hopeless Romantic 2.
Is there a lady? Because number 1 had a lady behind it. Is there a lady behind this one? Maybe 2?
Yeah, there is a 3. It's because I said this one is the 2. So there's a 3 that's gonna be dropping soon.
No, but I'm asking, like, is it referencing another girl? Like Hopeless Romantic 1 referencing
It has
a girl?
to, because I can't make up love stories.
Do you want to send her a shout out?
Yeah, I do. I actually do.
Let's hear.
Yeah, I want to send a shout out to my girlfriend. Should I name drop?
You can name drop if you want to.
You want to?
You can't say a shout out to my girlfriend and then get posted on 5 stories on Instagram.
Yeah, damn. Okay, so I want to send a shout out to my girlfriend. Her name is Faith. And I called her before I came in, so I was like, I'm anxious and stuff, and she was like, nah, relax, you got this. So
shout out to you,
shout
Faith.
out to
Your man made it on Enroute 962, and so did you, Faith. So just before we wrap up the interview, 2 more questions, right? Where would you like to see yourself in the next 5 years with your music, and which artists would you like to work with? Because you mentioned a lot of artists who tell the same stories as you do. So where do you see yourself in 5 years, and who would you like to work with?
In 5 years, I would like to be, we all want to be concentrated in what we are doing.
Household name.
Household name is
Sure.
When they talking about SA hip hop, I want to be one of the names that I reference to.
Sure.
So in terms of artists I would like to work with, I'm really liking Blackie right now. Blackie, Aries, as you say, is Java.
Sure.
There's a lot of artists. Keiki, Pretty Ugly, Maglera.
Smamani, maybe.
Usimamani, I really like him too.
Sure.
I really like him too. Usimamani, yes.
I see OG got off his chair there. Do you know what? I think he's a proper friend, because if I was him, I would have also done the same thing. If you ask me about another artist and my friend is an artist, I'd mention my friend. Come on.
Yeah, low key,
right? Also makes sense. Sure. So to close off the interview, thank you for coming, but I'm not going to let you go that easily, right? As mentioned, I want to talk about this rap beef because you grew up listening to Drake.
Yeah.
And you can't let it go. You're talking about a man who releases an EP in 1 year, an album in the next, or both in 1 year.
Yeah.
And each EP has like 10, 15 tracks. The album has like 21 tracks. So
consistency is crazy.
He's a hard worker. Drake is somebody in the past 5 years who could reference and say he's been there for the game.
Yeah.
That side, you understand?
Sure.
And this side too. So why I'm caught in between with these two is because I actually like Kendrick and I actually like Drake. You understand? So for me, I didn't understand the beef at first. I was like, what is the beef for? Was it because of one line? Really, like, just because of one line in the whole song?
So my question stands. You're being a hip hop head now. You don't want to take sides. I need you to take sides.
Okay.
I need you to know, are we on Family Matters in the Mansion? Is it Not Like Us? What are we doing? Is it Meet the Grahams?
I have to go with the other population on this one and say Kendrick won by TKO here, because Not Like Us is the biggest song right now.
Yeah.
If you play Not Like Us in a club, you get a reaction. But Family Matters and all of those other tracks, nah.
You know what? To close off our interview, I'll give you my 2 cents of opinion.
Yeah.
I read something and I saw something online that said that Drake has more haters than Kendrick has fans, and therefore that's why people were hating good music. It's just that Drake has more haters. We leave it at that. So to close off the interview, Nduna the Chief, how can people get a hold of you on all your socials?
You can get a hold of me on Facebook at Nduna Papito, on Instagram at Nduna the Chief Music, and TikTok at Nduna Papito.
Ndumiso Papito. Low key, I still want to use that name. And let it go. Low key, still want to use Donny D. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming to Enroute 962. Shout out to 04. Shout out to Faith. And shout out to your future endeavors. Wish you nothing but the best of luck. From myself and the Enroute team right here on TUTFM 96.2. Amplifying voices and empowering lives. That is how we concluded the interview. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
96.2 Mondays to Fridays. 3 to 6 p.m. on TUT FM.
But okay, that's obviously one. Oh yeah. Okay, I love you. We out. Yo, my stomach. I almost vomited. Boy, I don't well. We, kid dot. Kid dot. I don't want a name job. Or if you want to waff. Gents. Wait. Nah, Loki. I didn't even say shout out to my mom. Imagine. So shout out to both of you. But yeah, guys, it went well. Thank you for watching. To all 7 of y'all. Thank you for watching. We will save the life. Whoever wants to watch, will watch. Cause wow. Yeah. That's top shit. What do you have to say about your boy? It is what it is. It is what it is. Hey. Okay, now I wanna go home. I'm hungry. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye. Tight.